Hey everyone, Paul here, and in this video I'm going to walk through how you can find the annual report for a company that you might already be invested in or that you want to buy stock in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you by going to the investor relations websites, and you kind of have to hunt around a little bit to find it. It's a little bit different, but once you kind of know where to look, it becomes a little bit easier. And of course, the annual report is going to be a comprehensive look at the company's past financial year. It's going to have their financial information, their statement of cash flows, and income statement, balance sheet, and it's also going to have some management discussion about the business as well. So a lot of really good information there. And another thing I'll say, when you're looking at the annual reports, don't let yourself get kind of overwhelmed about the complexity of it. Even if you're just going to jump ahead to the management discussion, or even if you're just going to look at some simple metrics like how much cash do they have on the balance sheet, those are all things that you can pretty easily learn how to do without getting completely lost in the detail. But without further ado, let's jump over to one of these companies' websites and take a look at where we would find these reports. Okay, so the first one we're going to be looking at here, I'm going to go ahead and plug in Disney stock. Disney stock is something I think that, it's obviously a pretty big name. So I'm going to type in Disney, and I'm going to type in investor relations into Google, which is really going to be what we're going to do for all these stocks. Type the stock name, type investor relations, and then we're just going to go to the main link to this. And on top of just the annual report, there's just a lot of really good information that's available on the investor relation website. But again, the purpose of this is just the annual report. So when we're on this page here, we can go ahead and start scrolling around. And sometimes there can be like an SEC, kind of box at the top. We're not seeing that right now. But if we scroll down, we see events and presentations. These are going to be like, company presentations they're putting together. We can see investor relation news, and then we come down to reports, which of course is what we're looking for these annual reports. Now they have it all neatly laid out here where you can click on the annual report all the way from 2008 to 2019. So now if you're going to be clicking on any one of the reports, it's going to open it up in PDF. You see your little Mickey there, and you can kind of scroll through and get to your information. Okay, so it's also it should be hyperlinked for some of these. It looks like this one isn't, but you can obviously scroll through and get the information that you need out of that. Let's do this process again, but this time let's do it for Kraft Heinz, just to show you a little bit of variation here. So again, we're going to go Kraft Heinz Investor Relations. We're going to go to that main link here. And we go to this main link. Okay, so now up at the top here, we do see something called filings, which, when they talk about filings, some companies are going to call this SEC filings, some are just going to call it filings like Kraft Heinz is, but really we want the annual report that was filed with the SEC. So we're going to just hover over this actually for a second. We see SEC filings is right here. Click into SEC filings, and now we have a group that we can choose from. So in this group, we've got a list of things that we could get, but we want the annual report, so we're going to click on annual filings. We scroll down. Now, one thing to keep in mind here is that the first two are annual filings, but they're not the annual report. So again, they do not lay this out quite as neatly as what Disney did for us. But if we look at the first two, it says it's an annual report of employee stock purchase, savings and similar plans. Now that could be interesting to you, but what we came here to find was the annual report, which is their rundown. Again, that comprehensive overview of the company for the past year. And if you're still with me, first of all, thanks a lot for watching this. And if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, I'd really appreciate it. It really helped me out, helped this channel out a lot. If you could go ahead and subscribe to it, because I'm going to continue to put out, some good content about, stock education, investing education, and stock analysis. So if that's something that interests you, I'd absolutely love it if you could go ahead and hit subscribe to this channel. And of course, like this video. Okay, so let's take a look at one last example here, and we're going to use Apple. I mean, Apple is definitely one of the most highly traded stocks out there. It's a popular stock. So let's take a look at how you'd get the annual report for them. So once again, we're just going to Google Apple Investor Relations. We're going to go to the main link here. And up here, so now that, again, it's different at all three of these, but now up at the top, we can see that there's a little button here for SEC filings. And we click into that, and it's going to, again, allow us to have our grouping. So this is very similar to what Kraft Heinz did. We can say we want the annual filings, and then we come down here, and then you can see that this is actually going to be providing you the annual reports. It's going to give you an option in this case, if you want to have it in XLS, which is going to be an Excel format, if you want to have it in HTML, PDF, and the most common for me, I'm either going to be looking at this in PDF or in XLS. So downloading it to Excel, which has its uses, but if you just want a quick view of it, just clicking into the PDF is a quick way to get the information that you need. And this one actually is hyperlinked, so you can easily just jump around based on anything that you're going to select here from this table of contents. But again, as you can see, I mean, it talks about the business, the risk factors, the properties that they own, a management discussion. It's got financial data, so there is really a wealth of information here. And really, the biggest piece of advice is once again to not get lost in that data and to not get overwhelmed. Because again, even if you're going to read the management discussion, you're going to just understand some of the key balance sheet items. You're going to understand maybe reading about an acquisition or some of those things. Those can all be really beneficial to you. So again, don't get lost in there. But this is how you find it. And I'd love to know: was this helpful for you? Is this something that you're going to use this information more frequently now that you know how to access it? Would you like to know anything else or do a deeper dive into annual reports? Let me know what would help you guys out. I would love to put that together for you. And any questions or comments, let me know below, and I'll see you next video.